The alarm screamed through the halls of Research Station Titan 7 for the third time that month. Daeho looked up from his workstation and sighed. He knew what that sound meant. Another handler was dead. He stood and walked to the window. Outside, the great gas giant filled half the sky with swirling orange and red clouds. The view was beautiful, but Daeho barely noticed anymore. He had been on this station for 6 months now, and the beauty had worn off. Now he only saw the cold metal walls and the fear in everyone's eyes. His door opened. Nari stepped inside, still wearing her security uniform. Her face was pale. "It happened again," she said quietly. "The creature killed another one. A Vren this time. Took him apart in seconds." Daeho felt his stomach turn. The Vren were huge, strong aliens with 4 arms and thick skin. If the creature could kill one of them so easily, nothing on this station was safe. "How many does that make?" he asked. 3 dead in 2 weeks. 5 injured before that." Nari sat down heavily in his chair. "The director is calling an emergency meeting. All department heads. You should come too." "I am not a department head." "No, but you are human, and the director is desperate." Daeho did not like the sound of that. Desperate people made bad choices. He followed Nari through the corridors toward the main conference room. Other aliens rushed past them, their various forms of fear showing clearly. Some moved quickly, others huddled together. Fear smelled the same across all species. The conference room was packed. Director Velm stood at the front, his insect body clicking nervously. His multiple eyes darted around the room, never settling on one spot. Daeho had learned this meant Velm was very worried. "Thank you all for coming," Velm said. His translator made his clicks and buzzes into words. "We have a crisis. Creature X-19 is killed again. The council is demanding action. They want the creature destroyed." Murmurs filled the room. Daeho understood why. X-19 was the only living example of its species. Its homeworld was dead now, burned by its own sun. This creature was the last one in the entire galaxy. Killing it meant ending an entire species forever. "We cannot kill it," someone said. "The science value is too high." "Then what do we do?" Velm's voice rose. "Every species has tried to handle it. Kenth used dominance techniques. Vren used strength. Pollux used robots. Nothing works. The creature attacks everything. We cannot keep it sedated forever. We cannot let it keep killing." "Maybe the creature is just evil," a Kenth suggested. "Some animals cannot be tamed." Daeho had been quiet, but now he spoke. "It is not evil. It is scared." Every eye in the room turned to him. Daeho felt his face grow warm. He was the only human in the room, and humans were still new to the Galactic Council. Most aliens did not trust them yet. "Scared?" Velm's voice held disbelief. "It is a killing machine. It shows no fear." "It shows only fear," Daeho said. "I have watched the videos. Every attack starts the same way. Someone enters the containment. The creature backs into a corner first. It warns with sounds. Only when the handler moves closer does it attack. It thinks it is defending itself." "Defending?" A reptilian Krell laughed. "It is a predator from a death world. It kills because that is what it does." Daeho wanted to argue but stayed quiet. He knew these aliens would not understand. Earth was a death world too. Humans knew about scared animals better than anyone. Velm clicked his mandibles together. "The council has given us 48 hours. If we cannot find a solution, X-19 will be terminated. We need a volunteer to make one final attempt." Silence filled the room. No one wanted to die. Daeho saw the Krell looking at him with cold eyes. Then the reptilian smiled, showing teeth. "Let the human try," the Krell said. "They are new, disposable. If it fails, we lose nothing important." Anger flashed through Daeho, but he kept his face calm. Other aliens nodded. They agreed. Human life was worth less than theirs. At least that is what they thought. Velm looked uncomfortable. Daeho is a xenobiologist, yes. But he has no combat training, no special equipment. "Exactly," the Krell said. "If he succeeds, good. If he dies, we tried everything." "The council cannot blame us," Nari stood suddenly. "This is murder. You are sending him to die on purpose." "I will do it," Daeho said quietly. "What?" Nari turned to him. "No, Daeho, you cannot. I volunteer," he said louder. "I will work with the creature. Give me the 48 hours. Velm's eyes focused on him. "You understand you will probably die?" "I understand you have no other choice." "And neither do I." The meeting ended quickly after that. Velm gave Daeho access to all files on X-19. Nari followed him back to his quarters, arguing the whole way. This is crazy, she said. That thing has killed 3 trained handlers. What makes you think you can do better? Because they did it wrong, Deho said simply. He pulled up the creature's files on his screen. Look at this. X-19 came from a pack species. It had family groups. It was taken as a juvenile. That means it was still learning from its parents when we stole it. So it is alone, scared, angry. Think about how you would feel. He scrolled through more data. And look here. Every handler used force. They came in with weapons, with armor, with robots. They treated it like an enemy. No wonder it fights back. What will you do different? Deho closed the files and looked at his friend. I will treat it like a person. Not a monster. Not a science project. A scared child who misses its family. Nari stared at him for a long moment. You really believe that will work? I raised dogs on my grandfather's farm back on Earth. We had one dog that bit everyone. Everyone wanted to put it down. But my grandfather said the dog was not mean, just hurt. Someone had beaten it before we got it. So we were patient. We were kind. After 3 months, that dog was the sweetest animal on the farm. Deho smiled sadly. Sometimes all a creature needs is someone who understands its pain. The next morning, Deho stood outside the containment room. Through the thick glass, he could see X-19. The creature was massive, bigger than the videos made it look. 2 meters tall with 6 powerful limbs. Red armored scales covered its body. Spines ran down its back. Its face was somewhere between a lizard and a wolf with too many teeth. It paced in the corner, never stopping, never resting. Velm stood beside him. Last chance to back out. No, Deho said. Open the door. If you die, it is not my fault, I know. The door opened with a hiss. Deho stepped inside. The door sealed behind him with a heavy clang. He was alone with the creature now. X-19 stopped pacing. Its head swung toward him. Eyes like yellow fire locked onto him. The creature's lips pulled back, showing rows of teeth designed to tear flesh. A deep growl rumbled from its chest. Deho stood still. He kept his hands at his sides. He did not reach for a weapon. He did not wear armor. He was just a man in simple clothes, standing alone with a killer. The creature roared. The sound was so loud it hurt Deho's ears. Then it charged straight at him, all 6 limbs pounding the floor, claws scraping metal, murder in its eyes. Deho did not run. He did not scream. He simply stood there and waited. Outside the glass, aliens watched in horror. Nari pressed her hands against the window. The creature closed the distance in seconds. 3 meters. 2 meters. 1 meter. It stopped. The creature's face was inches from Deho's face. Hot breath washed over him. Saliva dripped from those terrible teeth. One swipe of those claws would end his life. Deho looked into those yellow eyes and spoke softly. Hello, my name is Deho. I am not going to hurt you. The creature stared at him. Its muscles tensed, ready to kill. But it did not move. For the first time since it arrived at the station, X-19 had stopped to think before attacking. It was a start. Deho's grandfather had taught him many things about animals. The most important lesson was this: never show fear, but never show aggression either. Just be calm. Just be present. The creature's hot breath still washed over his face. Those yellow eyes studied him with intelligence that surprised Deho. This was not a mindless killer. This was a thinking being trying to decide if he was a threat. Slowly, very slowly, Deho sat down on the floor. He crossed his legs and placed his hands in his lap. The movement made the creature jump back, tensing for attack. But Deho did not stand back up. He just sat there, looking at the floor instead of at the creature. I am not going to chase you, Deho said softly. I am not going to hurt you. I just want to sit here for a while. The creature circled him, staying about 3 meters away. Its claws clicked on the metal floor. Around and around it walked, studying him from every angle. Deho did not turn to watch. He kept his eyes down, his body relaxed. Outside the glass, aliens watched in confusion. This was not how anyone handled dangerous creatures. Where was the dominance display? Where were the control tools? Why was the human just sitting there like prey? Nari spoke into her communicator. Deho, what are you doing? Deho had a small earpiece. He heard her but did not respond out loud. That might startle the creature. Instead, he tapped his finger twice against his leg. Their signal for I am fine, an hour passed, then 2. The creature kept circling, but the circles got smaller. It was getting closer, building confidence. Deho remained perfectly still except to breathe. His legs started to hurt from sitting, but he ignored the pain. He thought about his childhood growing up on his grandfather's farm in South Korea. They had many animals there: cows, chickens, dogs, and cats. His grandfather never yelled at the animals, never hit them. He would say, "They feel the same fear we do. Treat them how you want to be treated." One time they got a new cow. It was mean, always kicking and biting. The other farmers said to get rid of it. But grandfather watched the cow carefully. He noticed it always protected its left side. He checked and found an old wound there, still infected. After they healed the wound, the cow became gentle. "Pain makes monsters," grandfather had said. "Heal the pain and you heal the monster." Deho looked at X-19 now, really looked. The creature's scales had scratch marks everywhere. Some were recent. It had been hurting itself, probably from stress. Its claws were damaged, worn down from pacing constantly. There were old scars on its limbs from restraints. This creature was in pain. Physical pain and emotional pain. "They hurt you," Deho said quietly. "I'm sorry." They did not understand. The creature stopped circling. It stood still, head tilted, listening to his voice. "I know you are scared. I know you miss your home, your family." Deho kept his voice soft and even. "I cannot bring them back, but I can be here with you. You do not have to be alone." The creature made a sound, not a growl or roar, something softer, almost like a whine, the sound of loneliness. Deho felt his heart break a little. This was not a monster. This was a child crying for its mother. The first day ended with no attacks. Velm was surprised but not convinced. Tomorrow it will kill him. Just wait. But the next day, Deho entered the containment again. He brought food this time. Not in a bowl or on a tray. Just pieces of meat in his hands. He sat in the same spot and placed the food on the floor in front of him. "I brought you something," he said. "You do not have to eat it, but it is here if you want it." Then he pulled out a book and began to read, out loud, in Korean. The creature did not understand the words, but the sound of his voice was calm and rhythmic. Deho read for 2 hours. The creature watched from the corner. When Deho left, the food was still there, untouched. On day 3, the food was gone. Deho smiled when he entered and saw the empty floor. Progress, he brought more food. This time he ate some himself first, showing it was safe. Then he placed pieces on the floor again. The creature watched intently. After an hour, it crept forward and took one piece while Deho looked away. Then another. Then another. By day 5, the creature ate while Deho watched. It kept one eye on him, ready to run, but it ate. "Good," Deho said. "You are very brave." The creature's head lifted at the word "good." Deho noticed. Positive sounds got a response. The creature understood tone even without understanding words. Day 7 brought the biggest change. Deho sat reading as usual. The creature had been lying in its corner, but suddenly stood. It walked slowly toward him. Deho's heart beat faster, but he kept his body relaxed. The creature came closer, closer. It stopped right beside him. Then very carefully it reached out one clawed limb and touched his hand. The touch was gentle, curious. The claw traced over his fingers like it was learning his shape. Deho stayed perfectly still, barely breathing. The creature's scales were warm against his skin. "Hello," Deho whispered. "It is nice to meet you." The creature made that soft whining sound again. Then it pulled its limb back and returned to its corner. But something had changed. A wall had come down. Trust was beginning. That night, Deho stayed late in the containment reading by a small light. He was tired. His eyes kept closing. Eventually, he dozed off, slumped against the wall with his book in his lap. He woke hours later to warmth. The creature had moved. It was curled up near him, not touching but close. Close enough that Deho could feel heat from its body. The creature's eyes were closed, but its breathing was alert. It was not sleeping. It was guarding him. Deho's eyes watered. This magnificent being, this so-called monster, was protecting him, keeping watch while he slept. "Thank you," Deho said softly. The creature's eye opened and looked at him, then closed again. Velm watched the security footage the next morning. He could not believe what he saw. The creature that had killed 3 handlers was now lying peacefully next to a human. He called off the termination order immediately. Nari visited Deho in the containment. The door opened and she stepped inside carefully. The creature's head lifted, eyes locked on her. A low growl rumbled. "It is okay," Deho said to the creature. This is Nari. She is my friend. She is safe. The growl stopped. The creature watched Nari but did not attack. It trusted Deho's judgment. I cannot believe this, Nari said. She stayed near the door, not wanting to push her luck. How did you do it? I did not do anything special, Deho said. I just treated it with respect. I gave it space. I let it make choices. Every other handler tried to control it. I just tried to understand it. The whole station is talking about you. Some aliens are angry. They say humans are using tricks. Let them be angry. X-19 is alive. That is what matters. Nari looked at the creature. Have you given it a name? Not yet. That should be earned, not given. 2 weeks after Deho first entered the containment, something amazing happened. He brought food as usual. But this time the creature took the food and then brought something back. A small piece of metal, shiny and smooth. It placed the metal in front of Deho like an offering. Is this for me? Deho asked. The creature made a happy clicking sound. Its version of yes. Thank you, Deho said, picking up the metal carefully. This is a wonderful gift. I will keep it. The creature's whole body seemed to glow with happiness. It bounced on its limbs like a puppy. All the danger, all the killing rage was gone. What remained was a young creature that wanted to play and share. Deho realized something important then. X-19 had not been broken or tamed. It had been befriended. There was a huge difference. A broken animal obeys from fear. A friend chooses to trust. I think I will call you Taiyang, Deho said. It means sunshine in my language. Because you are bright and warm. Once people get past the fear. Taiyang clicked happily, not understanding the words but feeling the love in them. Outside the containment, the galaxy was watching. Word had spread fast about the human who befriended the unkillable creature. Scientists, politicians, and warriors all wanted to know how he did it. But Deho did not think about that. He only thought about the being in front of him. The one who had been called a monster but was really just lost and scared and alone. Not anymore, though. Now Taiyang had a friend, and that made all the difference. 2 weeks after naming Taiyang, Deho could barely recognize the creature from before. The aggressive, violent animal that killed 3 handlers was gone. In its place was a playful, affectionate being who followed Deho everywhere inside the containment. Every morning, Taiyang waited by the door for Deho to arrive. When the door opened, Taiyang would make happy clicking sounds and bounce on its 6 limbs. The first time Velm saw this on the security cameras, he thought something was wrong with the footage. Creatures from Death Worlds do not act like this, Velm said to his assistant. This must be some kind of human trick. But it was no trick. It was simple kindness, and kindness worked the same across all species. Deho brought new things to show Taiyang every day. Puzzle toys, different foods, music from Earth. Taiyang loved music. When Deho played classical pieces, Taiyang would close its eyes and sway gently. The creature had favorites, too. Anything with strings made Taiyang calm. Anything with drums made Taiyang excited and playful. You have good taste, Deho told Taiyang while playing a recording of a cello. My grandfather loved this music too. Taiyang made a series of clicks and low rumbles in response. Deho wished he knew what they meant. The creature clearly wanted to communicate, but without translation, they could only guess at meanings. That changed when Dr. Yunji arrived at the station. Dr. Yunji was a xenolinguist from Earth, small and energetic with sharp eyes that missed nothing. She heard about Deho's success with Taiyang and requested assignment to Titan 7 specifically to study their communication. The Galactic Council said this creature could not be understood, Yunji said as she set up equipment around the containment. But that is because they never tried to understand. They only tried to control. Big difference. She placed sensors throughout the room that would pick up every sound Taiyang made. Creatures do not roar without meaning. Every sound has purpose. We just have to find the patterns. Deho sat with Taiyang while Yunji worked. The creature was curious about the new equipment, but trusted Deho enough to stay calm. Whenever Taiyang got nervous, Deho would speak softly and the creature would relax. Fascinating, Yunji said. Watching her screens, Taiyang's sounds change depending on what you do. Look here, when you speak gently, Taiyang makes these low-frequency sounds. When you show food, these higher clicks. When you touch, these rhythmic pulses. It is definitely language. Can you translate it? Deho asked. Give me time. Language is not just sounds. It is context, body movement, emotional state. But yes, I think I can build a basic translator. Maybe 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks felt very long to Daeho. He knew Taiyang was trying to talk to him. Every day, the creature made complex series of sounds that clearly had meaning. Taiyang would click, rumble, and hiss in patterns, then wait for Daeho to respond. When Daeho could not understand, Taiyang would try again, slower. Like teaching a child. I am sorry, Daeho would say. I want to understand. I promise we are working on it. Taiyang would touch his hand gently, forgiving him. Other creatures on the station noticed the change in Taiyang. Research Station Titan 7 held many dangerous specimens, all kept in separate containments, but they could hear each other through the ventilation system. After Taiyang became peaceful, the other creatures became quieter too, less aggressive, like they were listening, learning. Velm noticed this in his reports. 3 other previously violent creatures have shown decreased aggression. They respond better to handlers. How is this possible? Animals learn from each other, Daeho explained. Taiyang is telling them that humans are safe, that we are friends, not enemies. They trust Taiyang's judgment. This is not how the galaxy works, Velm said, frustrated. Predators do not make friends. Death World creatures do not become gentle. This breaks all our understanding. Maybe your understanding was wrong, Daeho said simply. Finally, after 17 days of work, Yunji completed the translation device. It was a small box with speakers, designed to pick up Taiyang's sounds and convert them to galactic standard language. Yunji was not sure how accurate it would be at first, but it was a start. She brought it into the containment while Daeho sat with Taiyang. The creature was lying down with its head in Daeho's lap, a position of complete trust. Daeho scratched behind the ridge of scales on Taiyang's head, a spot the creature loved. All right, Yunji said, activating the device. Let us see if this works. Daeho, say something to Taiyang. Daeho looked down at the creature. Hello, Taiyang. You are a very good friend. Taiyang's head lifted. The yellow eyes focused on Daeho with such intensity it was almost scary. Then Taiyang made a series of sounds. Clicks, rumbles, a high whistle, more clicks. The translation device hummed. Then through its speakers came words. Warm, safe, Daeho good. Taiyang happy. Silence filled the containment. Yunji's hands shook. Daeho felt tears in his eyes. Taiyang had spoken. After months of isolation, years of being treated like a mindless monster, Taiyang could finally be heard. Yes, Daeho said, his voice thick with emotion. Taiyang happy. Daeho happy too. Taiyang made more sounds, faster now, excited. The translator worked hard to keep up. Daeho teach. Daeho protect. Daeho bring food and music and gentle touch. Daeho is pack leader. Daeho is... The device paused, processing. Then, Boss Dad. Yunji laughed in surprise. Boss Dad? The closest translation for the concept Taiyang is expressing. A combination of leader, protector, and parent figure. Boss Dad. Daeho repeated, smiling through tears. I can work with that. Taiyang stood and pressed its head against Daeho's chest, making happy sounds. The translator spoke again. Warm thanks, Boss Dad. Warm thanks for seeing Taiyang. Not monster. Not weapon. Just Taiyang. Just Taiyang, Daeho agreed, wrapping his arms around the creature's neck. Always just Taiyang. News of the translation spread through the station within hours. Every species wanted to see the footage. The mighty killer, the creature that took 3 lives, was calling a human Boss Dad and thanking him with warmth. The reactions were mixed. Some aliens were amazed. They saw hope in this connection, proof that understanding could bridge any gap. But others were angry, even threatened. A group of Krell warriors confronted Daeho in the cafeteria. Their leader, a massive reptilian named Cross, loomed over him. You make us look weak, Cross hissed. We use strength to control beasts. You use softness. This is not the way of warriors. I do not care about looking strong, Daeho said calmly. I care about Taiyang being happy. Happy? Cross laughed. Creatures do not need happiness. They need discipline, control. Your way is dangerous. You teach creatures they are equal to us. They are equal to us, Daeho said. They think, they feel. They love and hurt just like we do. Cross leaned closer, trying to intimidate. Your human weakness will get you killed. That creature will betray you. They always do. Nari stepped between them. This conversation is over. Back away, Cross. The Krell warrior sneered but left. Daeho knew this would not be the last confrontation. His success with Taeyang was challenging deeply held beliefs across the galaxy. Many species built their power on dominating others. If humans proved there was a better way, it threatened their entire system. 3 days after the translation device started working, representatives from the Galactic Council arrived at the station. They demanded a demonstration. They wanted to see if the humans' method was real or some kind of deception. Daeho stood in the observation room with a dozen council members. Taeyang was in the containment below, visible through the glass. The translator was set to broadcast to everyone. "Show us this bond you claim to have," said Council Member Vrax, a tall alien with crystal skin. "Prove this creature truly understands and respects you." Daeho entered the containment. Immediately, Taeyang rushed over, clicking happily. "Boss Dad? Boss Dad, come back!" Taeyang, wait and wait. The council member shifted uncomfortably. Hearing a predator speak was strange enough. Hearing it speak with such affection was disturbing to their worldview. "Hello, Taeyang," Daeho said. "We have visitors today. Important people who want to meet you." Taeyang looked up at the observation window. Several council members stepped back instinctively. New beings? They friends of Boss Dad? Some of them. Some are still deciding. Taeyang, be good. Show them Taeyang, not monster. Taeyang is person. Counselor Vrax spoke into the intercom. "Human, command the creature to perform tasks. Show us this control you have developed." Daeho shook his head. "I do not control Taeyang. I am its friend." "There is a difference. Then what good is your method? If the creature does not obey, it is useless to us." Daeho felt anger rise but pushed it down. He turned to Taeyang. "Can you show them something?" "You do not have to. Only if you want to." Taeyang understood the request. The creature moved to where some puzzle toys were kept. It solved 3 complicated puzzles in quick succession, showing intelligence and dexterity. Then it organized blocks by color without being asked. Finally, it brought the blocks to Daeho and spelled out with them. "Friend." The council members were silent. This was not training. This was thinking, understanding, communication between equals. "Warm thanks, Boss Dad," Taeyang said through the translator, "for teaching Taeyang words, for teaching Taeyang thinking, for being family when Taeyang had none." 3 months after Taeyang first called Daeho Boss Dad, Research Station Titan 7 looked completely different. The change was not in the walls or equipment. The change was in the sounds. Before, the station was filled with roars, screams, and the buzz of shock weapons being used on creatures. Now the station was quiet except for soft music, gentle voices, and occasional happy clicks from various containment areas. Daeho now worked with 5 creatures that were previously considered unmanageable. Besides Taeyang, there was Bora, a creature covered in poisonous spines. There was Siak, who could change colors and had blinded 2 handlers. There was Isul, a massive creature with rock-like skin who could crush metal with its bare hands. And there was Juan, a creature that moved so fast it seemed to teleport and had escaped 4 times. All of them now called Daeho Boss Dad in their own languages. All of them were peaceful and cooperative. Daeho did not work alone anymore. 2 other humans had joined him. Dr. Hyun was an animal behaviorist from Earth who specialized in communication. Mireille was a veterinarian who focused on healing trauma in animals. Together, the 3 humans were changing everything the galaxy thought it knew about dangerous creatures. "The key is empathy," Hyun explained to a group of alien handlers during a training session. "You must see the creature as a person first, a challenge second. Ask yourself, why is this creature acting this way? What does it need? What is it afraid of?" The alien handlers struggled with this concept. Most came from species where strength and dominance were everything. The idea of treating a creature as an equal felt wrong to them. A 10th handler raised his claw. "But we are superior. We are the intelligent species. These are just animals," Mirai answered this time. "Intelligence comes in many forms." Taeyang learned to spell in 3 weeks. Bora can solve puzzles faster than most of us. Seok remembers every person who enters its containment and treats them accordingly. These creatures are not stupid. They were just scared and hurt. "So what do we do?" another handler asked. "Start with patience," Daeho said. He stood next to a screen showing video of Taeyang playing with a ball. "Watch, learn their body language, their sounds. What makes them happy? What makes them nervous? Treat each one as an individual, not as a species category." Some handlers listened carefully. Others looked skeptical. Change was hard, especially when it challenged everything you believed. But the results spoke for themselves. Attack incidents dropped by 80%. Creature health improved dramatically. Even creatures who did not directly work with the human team became calmer. The entire station's atmosphere shifted from fear to hope. Not everyone was happy about this. The Krell faction in the Galactic Council saw the human methods as a threat to their way of life. They believed in military strength and domination, in showing power over others. If soft words and patience worked better than force, what did that say about their entire culture? Cross, the Krell warrior who had confronted Deho before, brought his concerns to the council. These humans are dangerous. They make creatures loyal through manipulation. What happens when these creatures are used against us? They will follow human commands without question. Council member Vrax considered this. You think the humans are building an army? I think humans are too useful in this one specific role. They are becoming necessary. When you become necessary, you gain power. We should test them. Give them an impossible task. When they fail, we will have proof their methods have limits. And so the council made a decision. They would send one more creature to Station Titan 7. Not just any creature. The worst one. The one that had defeated every attempt to contain, study, or control it for over 300 years. They called it the Void Ripper. The message came to Daiho during breakfast with Taeyang. Velm delivered it personally, which meant it was serious. The council is sending a new specimen, Velm said. His insect body clicked nervously, which Daiho now recognized as extreme worry. They are sending the Void Ripper. Daiho stopped eating. I have heard that name. From old reports, everyone has heard that name. The Void Ripper has killed more beings than any other creature in recorded history. Hundreds dead. Maybe thousands. It has survived 6 attempts to execute it. It cannot be sedated, cannot be reasoned with, cannot be controlled by any means we know. Why send it here? Velm looked away. Some council members want to prove human methods have limits. If you succeed, humans become even more valuable. If you fail... Velm did not finish the sentence. If I fail, humans are banned from xenobiology work forever. Daiho said quietly. Yes. Taeyang made worried sounds. The translator spoke. Boss Dad not take this task. Too dangerous. Taeyang afraid for Boss Dad. Daiho scratched Taeyang's head gently. I know you are afraid. I am afraid too. But if I say no, they will never let humans help creatures again. All the work we did will mean nothing. Boss Dad more important than work. Thank you, Taeyang. But I have to try. Hyun and Mirai were strongly against it when they heard. They met in Daiho's quarters to argue. This is a setup, Hyun said angrily. They want you to fail. They want you to die. This proves humans should know their place. Maybe, Daiho agreed. But what if I succeed? You will not succeed. I've read the files on the Void Ripper. It is not like Taeyang or the others. It is truly dangerous, ancient. It has killed its own species. It has killed handlers from every race. There is something wrong with it beyond trauma or fear. Mirai added, even if you could reach it emotionally, it might be too late. Some creatures are too damaged to heal. We learned this on Earth with certain rescue animals. Sometimes the kindest thing is to let them go. You want me to give up before trying? I want you to live, Mirai said softly. We need you. The creatures here need you. Do not throw your life away on an impossible task. Daiho appreciated their concern, but his mind was made up. That night he could not sleep. He read everything available about the Void Ripper. The files were horrifying. The Void Ripper came from a world that had destroyed itself in war. It was a survivor of planetary genocide. It had watched its entire species die. For 300 years it had lived in various containment facilities, killing anyone who came close. It showed no mercy, no hesitation, no recognition of pain or fear in others. Various species tried different approaches over the centuries. The Vren tried brute force. The Void Ripper killed 12 Vren warriors in one day. The Pollux tried robot handlers. The Void Ripper destroyed 40 robots and learned how to hack their systems. The Kenth tried starvation to weaken it. The Void Ripper survived 11 months without food, then killed everyone in the facility when they finally opened the containment. It was not just strong or fast. It was smart, patient, it learned and adapted. Every species that tried to control it only taught it new ways to kill. And now it was coming to Station Titan 7. The Void Ripper arrived in a special containment pod covered in warning symbols. It took 4 ships to transport it. 6 different security teams supervised the transfer. When they moved the pod into the maximum security containment area, everyone on the station felt the change. The air itself seemed heavier. Deho stood in the observation room above the containment. Through the reinforced glass, he could see the pod opening. Something moved inside the darkness. Something massive. It emerged slowly. The Void Ripper was 4 meters tall with 8 limbs. Its body was black with patterns that seemed to shift and move. It had no visible eyes, but Deho knew it could see. Its face was mostly a mouthful of teeth that looked like broken glass. Scars covered every part of its body. Old scars. Hundreds of them. This creature had fought for 300 years and survived. It was a living weapon, a monument to pain and rage and loss. Nari stood beside Deho. You do not have to do this. We can refuse. Let them send it somewhere else. Well, where else is there? If I do not try, no one will, and it will live the rest of its life alone in the dark. Maybe it wants to be alone. No one wants to be alone, Deho said. Not really. Not forever. Velm entered the observation room with Hyun and Mirai. They all looked grim. Taeyang was there too, having insisted on coming. The creature pressed against the glass, staring down at the Void Ripper with concern. You have 48 hours, Velm said. Same as before. The Council is watching. Half the galaxy is watching. This will determine the future of human-creature relations forever. Deho nodded. He did not trust himself to speak. The weight of what he was about to do pressed down on him like gravity. He took the elevator down to the containment level. The door opened with a hiss. The Void Ripper stopped moving. It turned toward the door, toward him. Deho stepped inside. The door sealed behind him with a heavy sound. The Void Ripper stood completely still, waiting, watching, judging. Deho looked into where eyes should be and saw only darkness. But he felt something there. Not evil, not hatred, something much sadder. He recognized that feeling. He had felt it once before when his grandfather died. The feeling of being the last one. The only one. The feeling that everything you loved was gone and would never come back. Hello, Deho said softly. My name is Deho. I am very sorry for what happened to your world, to your people. You should not have been alone for so long. The Void Ripper tilted its head. Then it sat down. It did not attack. It just sat there in the darkness and waited. Deho sat down too. 1 month passed. The galaxy expected Deho to be dead within days. He was not. But progress with the Void Ripper was very, very slow. Every day, Deho entered the containment and sat in the same spot. Every day, the Void Ripper sat across from him in the darkness. They stayed like this for hours. No words, no movement, just 2 beings sharing space. The Void Ripper never attacked, but it never approached either. It simply existed in silence, wrapped in 300 years of grief. On day 12, Deho tried bringing food. The Void Ripper did not even look at it. On day 15, he tried music. No response. On day 20, he tried showing pictures of Earth, of animals and families and life. The Void Ripper turned away. Nothing worked. The creature had sealed itself off from the world completely. Hyun watched the daily footage with growing concern. It is not responding to any stimulus. This is beyond trauma. This is complete emotional shutdown. It is grieving, Mirai said quietly. I have seen this in animals who lost their mates or their young. Sometimes the grief is so deep they just stop. Stop eating. Stop moving. Stop living even though their body still works. So what do we do? Nari asked. Give it time, Deho said. That is all we can do. But time was running out. The council grew impatient. Messages came daily demanding results or termination. Cross sent a personal message to Deho. You are failing, human. Soon the galaxy will see that your methods only work on simple creatures. The truly dangerous ones cannot be saved. Maybe Cross was right. Maybe the Void Ripper was too far gone. But Deho refused to give up. On day 28, Deho sat in his usual spot. He was tired. The pressure was crushing him. He thought about his grandfather again. About the farm. About home. I wish I could take you there, Deho said aloud. To Earth, you would like it. We have forests and mountains and oceans. So much life. After your world died, you should have seen life again. Not just containment and darkness, he continued speaking, not expecting response. I had a grandfather who taught me about animals. He died 3 years ago. I miss him every day. He would have loved to meet you. He always said the angry animals were just sad ones nobody understood yet. Deho's voice cracked. I wish he was here. I do not know if I am doing this right. I want to help you, but I do not know how. For the first time in 28 days, the Void Ripper moved. It lifted its head. Then slowly it spoke. Its voice was like rocks grinding together. You cannot help. Deho's heart jumped. The creature could talk. All this time it could talk. Why not? Deho asked gently. Because what I lost cannot be returned. My world is ash. My people are gone. My mate died in my arms 300 years ago. I watched her stop breathing. I could not save her. Could not save anyone. The pain in those words was crushing. Deho felt tears on his face. I am so sorry. Sorry does not return the dead. Sorry does not rebuild worlds. I am the last, the only. Every day I wake and remember this. Every day I wish I had died with them. But you did not die. You survived. Survival is not living. It is just not dying yet. The Void Ripper stood and walked to the wall away from Deho. For 300 years, beings have tried to break me, control me, use me. Now you try to fix me. But I am not broken. I am empty. You cannot fill what is gone. Deho stood too. You are right. I cannot bring back what you lost. Nothing can. But you are not empty. You feel pain. You remember love. That means something still lives inside you. Pain is not life. Memory is torture. Memory is also proof. Proof that love existed, that your mate was real, that your people mattered. If you stop fighting, if you let yourself disappear, then they truly are gone. But if you keep living, they live through you. The Void Ripper was silent for a long time. Then why do you care? I have killed so many. I am a monster. You are not a monster. You are someone who lost everything and had to become hard to survive. I understand that. But being hard does not mean being dead inside. Let me show you something. Deho activated his communicator. Velm, can you open the observation window? The reinforced panels slid back. Light poured into the containment. The Void Ripper flinched from it at first. Through the window, Taeyang was visible in the observation room. The creature pressed against the glass, looking down at them. That is Taeyang, Deho said. Months ago, Taeyang wanted to die too. Scared, angry, alone. But we found each other. Now Taeyang has purpose again. Has family. I am not a child like that one. I cannot forget my pain so easily. I'm not asking you to forget. I'm asking you to let someone sit with you in your pain, so you do not have to be alone in it anymore. The Void Ripper stared at Taeyang for a long moment. What is family to one who lost all family? Family is not only blood. Family is who chooses to stay, who sees your worst and does not leave. For the first time, the Void Ripper moved closer to Deho instead of away. It stopped 2 meters from him. You would choose to stay, even knowing what I am, what I have done? Yes, why? Because no one should be alone forever. Because everyone deserves a chance to heal. Because you matter, even if you do not believe that right now. The Void Ripper reached out one limb. The movement was slow, careful. It touched Deho's shoulder with surprising gentleness. You are very small, very soft. I could kill you in one moment, I know. But you will not. How do you know? Because you are tired of killing. You want something different. You just forgot how to ask for it. The Void Ripper made a sound. It took Deho a moment to realize the creature was crying. The sound was terrible and beautiful at once. 300 years of held tears finally breaking free. Deho stepped forward and wrapped his arms around the creature's massive leg. It was all he could reach. It is okay. Let it out. You are safe now. The Void Ripper's whole body shook. Crying turned to sobs. 3 centuries of grief pouring out all at once. Deho held on, letting the creature feel what it needed to feel. Above them, the observers watched in stunned silence. Taeyang made soft, comforting sounds. Even Velm's clicking had stopped. When the tears finally ended, the Void Ripper spoke again. Its voice was different now, softer. What do I do now? Now we take it one day at a time. I will visit you every day. We will talk. I will teach you that life can be gentle again. I do not remember gentle. Then I will help you remember. 2 weeks later, Dr. Yunji brought a translation device to the Void Ripper's containment. The creature learned quickly how to use it. Its first translated words were, "Thank you, small one. You gave me permission to feel again." Progress was slow but steady. The Void Ripper, who Deho named Quan, meaning strong, began to engage with the world again. Music helped. Quan particularly loved deep, slow sounds. The rumble of drums reminded it of its homeworld. The council held an emergency meeting to discuss the results. Video footage showed Deho sitting with Quan, both of them listening to music together. The most dangerous creature in the galaxy was at peace. Counselor Vrax addressed the assembly. We sent the Void Ripper expecting failure. We wanted proof that human methods have limits. Instead, we have proof that perhaps our methods were wrong all along. Cross the Krell warrior stood angrily. This is weakness. You celebrate soft words over strength. What happens when creatures are needed for real work? For defense? For war? Will they fight or will they refuse because humans taught them to be gentle? Deho, attending the meeting remotely, spoke up. You assume creatures exist only to serve you. That is the problem. Creatures are not tools. They are persons. Treat them as persons and they will choose to help you. Force them, and they will always rebel eventually. You turn monsters into pets. Cross sneered. No. I help scared beings become themselves again. There is a big difference. The vote was close, but ultimately the council ruled in favor of human methods. Earth was offered a permanent seat on the Xenobiology Guild. Humans would be sent across the galaxy to help with difficult creatures. The Krell faction was furious, but the results spoke for themselves. 6 months after the Void Ripper arrived, Station Titan 7 had been transformed. The maximum security wing was now called Family Wing by the staff. Dangerous containment had become a living space where multiple creatures coexisted peacefully. Deho sat in the center of the space reading a book. Taeyang was curled up on one side of him. Quan sat on the other side, carefully cleaning one of Deho's toolkits with massive claws that could tear steel. Bora, Siok, Isel, and Juan were playing a game in the corner, their various sounds mixing into happy chaos. Nari visited with food for everyone. The creatures greeted her warmly now. She was part of the family too. The council wants you to visit other stations, Nari said, handing Deho a data pad. They have 6 more impossible cases. Creatures nobody can handle. What do you think? Deho asked his creatures. Should we help? Taeyang clicked enthusiastically. Yes! Bostad, show more creatures they are not alone. Make more family. Quan rumbled in agreement. Many beings suffer as I suffered. If you can ease their pain as you eased mine, it is worthy work. The other creatures added their voices in support. Every single one wanted to help others find what they had found. Deho smiled. All right then. We go together. All of us. Velm approved the mission immediately. He had gone from doubting human methods to becoming their biggest supporter.